I can't believe how beautiful these are. They really match the cherry blossoms.
Yeah, best spring day ever.
Valentine's Day was supposed to be ours. I remember waking up with that thought and smiling at the ceiling, already rehearsing what I would say to Emily. I called her first. "Happy Valentine's Day," I said. She laughed softly. "You sound nervous." "I am," I said. "Tonight matters to me." "It matters to me too," she replied. "Relax." I believed her. I met Ryan and Lucas later that morning to grab coffee. Ryan clapped my shoulder. "Big night, man," Lucas grinned. "Finally making it official again?" "We already are," I said. "This is just a reminder." Ryan raised his cup. "To love." "To love," I echoed, not knowing how fragile that word was. That afternoon, Emily texted me. "Dinner might be a bit late," I typed back. "That's fine." "I booked the place for 8, she replied. "Don't get upset, okay?" "Why would I?" I asked. "No reason," she said. "I'll call you." She didn't. At 7:30, I stood outside the restaurant, holding roses and a small box. I called her again. "Hey," she said, breathless. "Where are you?" I asked. "With Ryan and Lucas," she said. We ran into each other. My chest tightened. "On Valentine's Day?" "It's not a big deal," she said. "They needed me." "I need you," I said quietly. She sighed. "You're being dramatic." "I planned this," I said. "For us." "We can do it another day," she replied. "Be understanding." I looked through the window at couples laughing. "Are you coming or not?" There was a pause. "I'm staying," she said. "With them?" I asked. "Yes," she said. "Please, don't start a fight." Ryan's voice came through the phone. "Bro, chill." I clenched my jaw. "Ryan, why are you even there?" "It just happened," he said. "Don't overthink it," Lucas added. "We'll make it up to you," Emily said. "See? You're not alone." I stared at the roses in my hand. "I am alone." "You're choosing to feel that way?" she said. "I'll see you later." The call ended. I stood there until the waiter asked if I was waiting for someone. "She's running late," I said, even though my voice shook. Outside, I finally saw them. Emily walked between Ryan and Lucas, laughing. Ryan said something and she leaned into him. Lucas opened the car door for her. She didn't look back. I whispered, "This isn't real." My phone buzzed. A text from Emily. "Don't be mad. I love you." I typed, "I love you too," and deleted it. Then I typed it again and sent it. I told myself it was nothing. I told myself, couples survived worse. I told myself trust meant swallowing doubts. Still, as I watched their car disappear, something inside me cracked, slow and silent, like ice breaking under my feet. I walked 4 blocks before calling Lucas. "Why tonight?" I asked. "Because she wanted to forget stress," he said. "By forgetting me?" I asked. "You're twisting it," he replied. I hung up and called Ryan. "Are you happy now?" I asked. "Man, you're acting crazy," he said. "She chose to come. She chose you," I said. He laughed nervously. "Don't say it like that. I went home and set the gifts on the table." Emily called an hour later. "I'm coming over," she said. "You don't have to," I replied. "I want to," she said. "Stop sounding cold." When she arrived, she kissed my cheek. "You look upset." "I waited," I said. "I know," she replied. "But you should trust me." "I do," I said, even though I wasn't sure. She picked up the box. "Is this for me?" "Yes," I said. She smiled. "See? Everything's fine." I nodded. "Everything's fine." She talked about the night, about jokes and music. I listened and smiled when I was supposed to. Inside, I kept asking myself why love suddenly felt like I was the last choice. I answered my own question with denial. I told myself tomorrow would feel normal again. I told myself this was just a misunderstanding. I went to bed holding on to that lie because the truth felt too heavy to touch. I fell asleep believing love should not hurt, even when it already did. The silence started the next morning. I texted Emily, "Did you get home safe?" No reply. I waited an hour and sent, Can we talk later? Nothing. By lunch, my chest felt tight. At work, Maya leaned over my desk. You look exhausted, she said. I didn't sleep, I replied. Fight. She asked. Something like that, I said. She studied my face. You don't blink when you lie. I'm not lying, I said. I'm fine. Maya nodded. Coffee after work? Maybe, I said. I checked my phone again. I finally called Emily. What? She answered. Are you upset? I asked. She laughed. Why would I be upset? You haven't replied all day, I said. I'm busy, she said. Not everything is about you. That stayed with me. After work, I met Ryan in the parking lot. Hey, I said. Did I do something wrong? He avoided my eyes. You're overthinking. It's not an answer, I said. He shrugged. Emily's stressed. Give her space. Since when does space mean silence? I asked. Lucas walked past us and said, Bro, chill. I watched them leave together. At home, Emily finally texted, Stop making this bigger than it is, I typed. I just want to understand, she replied. There's nothing to understand. That night, I stared at the ceiling, replaying every word I had said. I wondered when asking questions became a crime. The next day, Maya sat across from me at lunch. You're shrinking, she said. What does that mean? You apologize before anyone accuses you, she said. I'm just trying to keep peace, I replied. At what cost? She asked. I didn't answer. That evening I went to Emily's place. We need to talk, I said. She crossed her arms. If this is about Valentine's Day again, it is, I said. You chose them. I didn't choose anyone. You're insecure? Insecure? I repeated. I felt replaced. That's dramatic, she said. You always do this. Do what? I asked. Make yourself the victim, she replied. I felt small. I just wanted honesty. I was honest, she said. You just don't trust me. I searched her face. Did I imagine everything? She softened her voice. You imagine problems when you feel left out, so it's my fault, I said. She nodded. I'm sorry, I said. She blinked. For what? For pushing, I said. For ruining the mood. She relaxed. Thank you. On the walk home, my phone buzzed. A message from Maya? Did you talk to her? Yeah, I typed. It's my fault, she replied. Is it? I didn't answer. Days passed the same way. Short replies. Late nights? Avoided questions. I told myself this was normal. One night, Emily said, You've been quiet. I don't want to fight, I said. She smiled. See? You're learning, she smiled back. I started watching my words, editing my feelings, shrinking my needs. Every apology felt heavier than the last. When Emily hugged me, I whispered, I'll do better. She said, Good. I lay awake afterward, wondering when love turned into something I had to earn. I thought about Maya's words and pushed them away. I chose silence because it hurt less than truth. I chose blame because it kept her close. The next morning, Emily called while I was driving. You didn't say goodnight, she said. I didn't want to bother you, I replied. She scoffed. See? You're sulking. I'm not, I said. I'm adjusting. It's better, she said. I need you easy, not intense. I can do that, I said quickly. She paused. You always promise. I mean it, I said. At work, Maya watched me pack my bag. You look hollow, she said. I'm fixing things, I replied. With her or with yourself? She asked. With us, I said, unsure. She sighed. Just don't disappear. That night, Emily texted, Sorry if I was harsh. My heart jumped. I replied, No, I deserved it. She sent a heart emoji. You're sweet when you listen. I stared at the screen, feeling relief mixed with shame. I typed, I'll try harder, she replied. That's all I ask. I put the phone down and whispered, I'm sorry, to the empty room. Something in me folded inward, quiet and obedient. and I let it happen. Asterisk. The argument started over something small. Emily said, "You're checking my phone again?" "I wasn't," I said. It lit up. "You don't trust me," she snapped. "I'm trying to understand," I replied. She laughed. "That's your problem. You think everything needs fixing? Because it's breaking," I said. She crossed her arms. "You're exhausting." Those words pushed me over. Maybe I should leave for a while. She didn't stop me. "Do what you want." I packed a bag and said, "This is just space." She nodded. "Good, you need it." I told myself it wasn't an ending. I drove straight to Daniel's place. "You look wrecked," he said, opening the door. "It's temporary," I said. "That's what people say before they lose everything," he replied. I dropped my bag. "She says I'm the problem." Daniel poured water and said, "Love without respect destroys slowly." "She respects me," I said quickly. "Then why are you here?" he asked. I didn't answer. The next day I met Ryan for lunch. "Why are you acting like I'm crazy?" I asked. He shrugged. "You've been intense." "'Cause I was ignored," I said. "You push people," he replied. "Or they push me out," I said. Lucas joined us. "Emily's happier lately, with me gone," I said. Lucas sighed. "You needed to chill." I laughed once. "So you all decided that?" Ryan said, "We just want peace." Without me, I said. At work, Maya noticed my bag. "You move out?" she asked. "Just space," I said. She frowned. Space usually has direction. That night, Emily called. "Are you calmer now?" "I'm alone," I said. "That helps," she replied. "Does it?" I asked. She said, "You were suffocating me." I closed my eyes. I didn't know asking mattered was suffocating. "You make everything heavy," she said. "I'm carrying us," I replied. "No," she said. "You're dragging us." I swallowed. "I'll fix it." "You always say that." Days passed. Group chats went quiet when I spoke. Plans happened without me. When I asked Ryan, he said, "We didn't think you'd want to come because I'm unstable." I asked. "You said it, not me," he replied. I started believing it. At Daniel's kitchen table, he said, "They're rewriting you." "Maybe I deserve it," I said. "No," he said. "You're shrinking to survive." Emily visited once. She looked around and said, "This suits you." "That hurt," I said. She shrugged. "Truth does." We sat in silence until she said, "Maybe we should take a break." "A break?" I asked. "Not a breakup," she added quickly. "Just time." "Time for what?" I asked. "For you to work on yourself," she said. I nodded. "If that's what you need?" She smiled in relief. "Thank you for understanding." I walked her out and said, "I'll wait." She replied, "Don't wait. Improve." After she left, I sat on the floor. My phone buzzed. A text from Maya. "You okay?" "I'm fine," I typed. Daniel stood behind me and said, "You just agreed to disappear. It's temporary," I said. He shook his head. "So it was your move." I lay on the couch that night, staring at the ceiling. I replayed every moment I was told I was too much. I wondered when my voice became noise. When love turned into permission. Emily texted before midnight. "Thank you for giving me space," I replied. "Take all the time you need." She sent a heart and went silent. I placed the phone face down. I told myself patience was strength. Deep down, I knew I had just stepped aside in my own life. I agreed to the break because saying no felt like losing her forever. I chose fading over fighting. I told myself I was still here, even as I felt myself being erased, quietly, willingly, one yes at a time. The first session with Dr. Helen started with her asking, "Why are you here?" "I messed up my relationship," I said. She shook her head. "Try again." "I wasn't enough," I said. She leaned forward. "Who told you that?" "I did," I admitted. She wrote something and said, "That's where we start." Weeks passed like that. Short answers. Long silences. One night I told her I keep checking my phone. "For what?" She asked. For her, I said. And when she doesn't text? She asked. I feel smaller, I replied. That's validation addiction, she said. You confuse attention with worth. I hated hearing that. At the gym, Chris noticed me struggling with the weights. You quitting already? He asked. I'm tired, I said. He shrugged. So am I lift anyway. We didn't talk much after that. Just nods, reps, sweat. One morning I said, Why are you always here? He replied, because consistency doesn't care about feelings. That stuck. Emily texted less each month. First days, then weeks. When she did, it was short. How are you? She asked once. Better, I lied. Good, she replied, and vanished again. In therapy, I said, I feel forgotten. Dr. Helen asked. By her or by yourself? I didn't answer. Late nights were the worst. I would say out loud, it's fine to no one. Maya called once. You disappeared, she said. I'm busy, I replied. With healing? She asked. With surviving, I said. She paused. That's not the same. At month 4, Dr. Helen said, Stop blaming her. So it was me? I asked. No, she said. It was both. But you abandoned yourself first. I walked home angry. At the gym, Chris handed me a towel and said, You look distracted. I'm learning I'm weak, I said. He laughed once. Weak people don't show up. That night, Emily posted a picture with friends. I stared at it and said, You look happy. No one answered. In session, I told Dr. Helen, I don't hate her. You don't have to, she said. You just have to let her go. How? I asked. By building a life she no longer fits into, she replied. Months blurred. Work, gym, therapy, sleep, repeat. Chris said one morning, You're stronger. Physically, I said. Mentally too, he replied. I didn't believe him yet. Emily's name stopped making my chest jump. It started feeling distant, like an old song. One night, I deleted our photos. I whispered, I'm sorry, not knowing to whom. In therapy, so that I don't miss her messages. Dr. Helen smiled. What do you miss? Myself, I said. Before I begged. She nodded. That's grief. At the gym, I told Chris, I used to think love meant endurance. He replied, Love should add weight you want to carry. I laughed softly. I dropped everything, he said. Good. 9 months passed. Emily didn't reach out again. One evening, I realized I hadn't checked my phone all day. I sat alone and said, I survived. Dr. Helen asked in our last session, What did you learn? I don't need permission to exist, I said. She smiled. Say that again? I don't need permission, I repeated. Walking home, I felt quiet, not empty. Emily's voice faded into memory. I finally understood the ache wasn't about losing her. It was about losing myself trying to be chosen. I stood still and said, I'm back, and for the first time it felt true. My phone buzzed at 11:47 p.m. I almost ignored it. The name made my stomach tighten. Sarah. Her message said, I know it's late. Can we talk? I stared at the screen and whispered, Why now? Another message came. Right, please. I owe you, I typed. You disappeared. She replied, So did you. I locked my phone, then unlocked it again. Where? Tomorrow, she said. Coffee shop near your office. I didn't answer right away. My instinct said no. My curiosity said yes. Fine, I typed. 1 hour, she sent, thank you. The next day, she sat across from me, hands shaking. You look different, she said. I feel different, I replied. Why did you message me? She took a breath. Because I can't carry this anymore. I crossed my arms. Then say it. She looked away. Emily wasn't honest with you. I know, I said. That's not new, she said. It started before Valentine's Day. My chest went cold. What started? She whispered, Ryan. I laughed once. No. She talked about him all the time. Sarah said. She said he understood her. She said I didn't, I replied. Sarah nodded. She leaned on him emotionally. Late calls, secrets, and Lucas. I asked. He covered, Sarah said. He told her how to hide it. I stared at the table. So I wasn't paranoid, she said quickly. You were right. I exhaled slowly. Why tell me now? Because she blamed you, Sarah said. She said you pushed her. I clenched my fists. And you believed her? At first, she admitted. Then I saw the messages. What messages? I asked. She showed me, Sarah said. To justify herself. I closed my eyes. She used proof of betrayal as comfort. Sarah nodded. I stopped talking to her after that. Silence sat between us. I expected pain. It didn't come. I feel calm, I said. That scares me, Sarah replied. It doesn't scare me, I said. It explains everything. She leaned forward. I'm sorry I didn't warn you. You were her friend, I said. You chose loyalty. She chose lies, Sarah said. I chose distance. I stood. Thank you for telling me. Are you okay? She asked. I am, I said honestly. That night, I sat alone on my couch. I said out loud, I wasn't crazy. No one answered. I replayed every moment I doubted myself. You're insecure. You imagine things. You're dramatic. Each sentence faded. In its place came clarity. Emily didn't leave because I was weak. She left because she wanted someone else while keeping me silent. Ryan didn't comfort her accidentally. Lucas didn't stay neutral. They chose. I looked at my phone and said, I see you now. No anger came. No urge to confront. Just relief. I texted Sarah once more. I believe you, she replied. That's all I wanted. I put the phone down and leaned back. For months, I had carried confusion like a weight. Now it dropped. Betrayal didn't explode. It dissolved. I laughed softly. So that's it. Wasn't abandoned by accident. I was lied to on purpose. The calm surprised me. I sat there breathing evenly, feeling steady. The silence no longer felt hostile. It felt clean. I whispered, I trusted my instincts. For the first time, the past made sense. For the first time, I didn't need answers. I had them. I wasn't broken. I wasn't too much. I wasn't unstable. I was lied to. I sat alone until midnight passed, feeling nothing but peace, knowing the truth had finally chosen me back. I decided not to say anything. When Ryan texted, You okay? I replied, I'm busy. When Lucas sent, We should talk, I left it unread. Silence felt stronger than any accusation. At work, Maya noticed immediately. You look lighter, she said. I stopped explaining, I replied. She smiled. That usually does it. Weeks passed. I heard things without asking. In the break room, someone whispered, Did you hear about Emily and Ryan? I kept my eyes on my coffee. Another voice said, They fight all the time. I didn't react. Maya leaned closer. You hear it too? I hear everything, I said. I just don't carry it. One night, Ryan called. I let it ring. He texted, Man, she's losing it. I typed nothing. Lucas showed up at my gym one evening. Why are you ignoring us? He asked. I'm not, I said. I'm done, he scoffed. You think you're better now? I think I'm quieter, I replied. He lowered his voice. Ryan and Emily aren't doing well. That's unfortunate, I said. He stared at me. You don't care? I cared when it mattered, I said. Lucas shook his head. People are asking questions. Good, I replied. He hesitated. They're asking about you. Not answering, I said. He left without another word. Maya texted later. You okay? Yes, I typed. I really am, she replied. That scares people. Emily's name came up less. When it did, it sounded different. One afternoon, I overheard Ryan arguing on the phone. You don't trust me, he said. I chose you, didn't I? I walked past without looking. Later, Chris at the gym said, You see less drama now. Stop being in it, I said. He nodded. That's power. Lucas lost friends quickly. Someone told me he knew more than he said. Another said he played both sides. I didn't comment. Maya and I had lunch one day. Do you want revenge? She asked. No, I said. I want peace. She stirred her drink. You've already won. How? I asked. You're not reacting, she said. They are. Ryan texted again. She keeps comparing me to you. I laughed once and deleted it. That night, Emily messaged me for the first time in months. Can we talk? She wrote. I stared at it and put the phone down. 10 minutes later, another message came. Please. Maya called. Don't rush, she said. I won't, I replied. The next day I heard Emily crying outside a cafe. Ryan's voice was sharp. You don't get to blame him, he said. I ruined everything, she said. I walked past them, heart steady. No rush, no anger. That evening Maya asked, how does it feel? Like watching a storm from indoors, I said. She smiled. You earned the roof. Emily's final message came at night. I wasn't fair to you, I replied. I know. She paused, then sent, Can we meet? I stared at the words. Her confidence was gone. Her voice felt small, even on the screen. When I asked, soon, she replied, If you're willing. I set the phone down and breathed evenly. I wasn't excited. I wasn't afraid. I was ready to listen, not to beg. For the first time, the choice felt mine. I met Emily at a quiet cafe near the park. She sat across from me, hands tight around her cup, eyes uncertain. She said, Thank you for coming, I answered. You asked to meet. She nodded and whispered. I owe you the truth, I leaned back and said. I'm listening. She took a long breath and said, I was emotionally involved with Ryan before Valentine's Day. I replied, I know. Her eyes widened. How? I said. Because the silence told me everything. She swallowed and said, I was scared of commitment. I answered. Fear doesn't excuse betrayal, she said. Lucas helped me hide it. I figured that out too, she asked. Why aren't you angry? I said, because anger needs hope, and I let that go. She reached for my hand, then stopped. I loved you, she said. I replied, You loved comfort, not honesty. I didn't mean to hurt you, I said. Intent doesn't erase damage. She stared at the table and said, Ryan made me feel wanted. I answered, I made you feel safe, she whispered. I didn't deserve you, I replied. You're right. Silence stretched. She asked, Can we fix this? I said no. Why not? I answered, Because I already fixed myself. She cried quietly. I was afraid you'd leave, I said. You left me first. She wiped her face and said, I regret everything. I replied, Regret came after consequences. She asked, Do you hate me? I said no. She looked confused. Then what do you feel? I answered, Clear? She shook her head. I ruined us. I said, You ruined access to me. She whispered, I want another chance, I replied. I don't. She stared down and said, You've changed. I answered, I had to survive. She asked, Was I ever enough? I said, You were, until you chose deception. Tears fell. She said, I lost you, I replied. You lost me months ago. She asked, What happens now? I said, I walk away. She stood too. Without anger? I answered, Without chains. She nodded slowly. I understand, I said. I hope you do. I turned toward the door. She said, I'm sorry. I replied, I believe you. I paused and added, But forgiveness isn't reconciliation. She didn't follow me. Outside, the air felt light. I realized closure isn't loud. It doesn't need revenge. It needs truth. I walked away calm, knowing I didn't lose love. I reclaimed myself. My mornings changed first. I told myself, wake up early. I did. I told myself, eat better. I listened. I told myself, speak honestly. I practiced. At work, Maya said, You're steady now, I replied. I stopped chasing. She smiled. It shows. At the gym, Chris asked, you training for something? I said, for peace. He nodded. Best goal. I didn't stay late anymore. I went home when I felt tired. I said no when I meant no. One evening, Ryan texted, miss you, man. I typed, I wish you well. He replied, that's it? I sent nothing. Lucas called. We should clear the air, I answered. There's nothing left. Said you're cold. I replied, I'm honest. He hung up. I felt nothing. Maya watched me put my phone away and said, that used to hurt. I nodded. It doesn't now. I met Lena at a bookstore. She said, you like quiet places. I replied, I like listening. She smiled. That's rare. We talked slowly. She asked, what do you want? I answered, consistency. She said, I can offer that. I didn't rush. I didn't promise. I observed. One night she asked, why are you careful? I said, because I value myself. She nodded. I respect that. There was no tension, no chase. Trust felt different. It didn't burn. It warmed. Emily's name came up once when Maya asked, do you miss her? I said, I miss who I was. She said, you found him again. I smiled. At lunch, Ryan showed up uninvited. You look good, he said. I feel good, I replied. He said, can we hang out? I answered, I'm busy. With what? He asked. With my life, I said. He sighed. You changed. I grew, I replied. He nodded slowly and left. No anger followed. Just space. Lena and I walked one evening, and she said, you're present, I replied. I learned absence. She squeezed my hand lightly and said, you don't owe me anything, I said. Neither do you. That felt right. At work, Maya said, you're not haunted anymore. I answered, I stopped visiting the past. She laughed. Proud of you. One night alone, I said out loud, I'm enough. The room didn't argue. I thought about Emily, Ryan, Lucas, and felt distant. Not bitter finished, Lena texted. Good night. I replied, sleep well. No anxiety. No waiting. It's calm. I realized healing wasn't loud. It didn't need proof. I wasn't healed because they struggled. I was healed because I chose myself. I woke up one morning and said, I'm not angry anymore. No one answered, and that felt right. At work, Maya asked, do you ever think about them now? I replied, only as lessons. She smiled. That's growth. I sat with Chris after training. He said, you move different. I stand firmer, I said. He nodded. Pain teaches posture. Later, I walked alone and spoke quietly. I lost everything I thought mattered. I paused and added, and found what actually does. I remembered Emily without bitterness. I said her name once and felt nothing sharp. That's done, I told myself. One night, Lena asked, do you regret loving her? I answered no. She asked, even after everything? Yes, I said. Love showed me my limits, she said, and now? Now I protect them, I replied. I looked back and said, betrayal broke me, and I corrected myself. It exposed me. I learned how often I begged for crumbs and called it loyalty. I learned silence can be violence when I accept it. I learned love without self-respect isn't love. It's survival, I said out loud. I spoke to myself like a witness. You stayed when you should have walked. You apologized for truths. You disappeared for comfort. I ended with, never again, Maya once asked. Do you want justice? I replied, I got it. She frowned. How I am free, I said. Ryan and Lucas became stories others told. I didn't correct them. Their absence felt earned. I stood in front of the mirror and said, you're whole. It didn't come. I thought about you reading this. I said, if you're hurting, listen, continued. Pain isn't proof you're weak. It's proof you cared, I added. But don't stay where respect is optional. I breathed in and said, boundaries aren't walls. They're doors, I said with locks. I no longer needed answers. I became one. Emily was no longer my wound. She was my lesson. I stood in my life, calm and present. I wasn't defined by who left. I was defined by who I became.